Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Math with Sohn. I'm going to be teaching you how to find the volume of cylinders and to use the formula in a variety of different ways today. Okay, so let's start off with the basics. A cylinder is when you take a circle, and essentially if you were to stack up a bunch of circles really high, imagine stacking up a bunch of quarters or coins really high, and creating a can-like structure. So end up with a cylinder. Okay? So the way that a volume of a cylinder would work is how much space would occupy this can. And the way that you would do that is you would find first the area of either the bottom or the top circle. Most of the time, for geometry, for volume, we focus on the bottom, which a lot of people call the base. And that you would have to be provided with the radius. So I'm going to say the radius is 4 inches. So this would be like a pie dish or something like that. That would be stacked high. And we need to first find the area of that circle. And the area of the circle, any circle, is pi r squared. In this case, it'd be pi times 4 squared, which is 16 pi. So that's the area of the circle, 16 pi. In order to find the volume of the cylinder, we have to multiply it by the height. So however high this is going, that's how many stacks of circles we would have to multiply it by. So let's say that the height was 10 inches. It'd be like stacking 10 of these together. You would take the area of the circle, the area of the base, 16 pi, and multiply by the height. So that would be 16 pi times 10, which is equal to 160 pi. If it's volume, it's going to end up being inches cubed, which is how many literally cubes we would end up in this cylinder. So that's one way of formatting the answer. The other way of formatting the answer is actually taking the pi and multiplying it by what pi is, which is 3.14. So if you took the 160 and multiplied it by 3.14, we would have approximately, in this cylinder, 502.4 inches cubed. Depending on the problem, depending on if you have a calculator, will determine which format that you would need. All right? So that is one volume problem for a cylinder. And a quick volume formula is volume equals pi r squared times the height. So pi r squared h. And that is the volume of a cylinder. So because this is the volume formula of the cylinder, if you're given other information, such as if you're given the volume, you might be able to find what the radius is or what the height of the cylinder is based on the information you're provided. Okay, so we're going to do an example like that. So imagine if we had a cylinder with a volume of 1,300 feet cubed. And imagine it had a radius of 8 feet cubed. If we wanted to find the height, we could. And I could have asked us to find the radius, or I could have asked us to find the height given this situation. And in order to do that, we are just going to use the volume formula that we just learned. Volume equals pi r squared, area of a circle, times the height. So we're going to plug the information that we have into this formula, and we're going to forget that it says feet cubed. That's a formality to let us know that we're referring to volume. And I'm going to fill in the volume part right here. 1,300 equals pi, which we can write as pi. We can also write it as 3.14 times 8 pi r squared. The radius is 8, so we got to square the 8. H. We are solving for the height, so that's going to remain our variable as h. We can do a few things here. We can change the pi to 3.14, or we can keep it as pi. But what we can't decide on, and we have to do, is 8 squared. 8 squared is 64. And I went ahead and wrote pi as 3.14. So we have 64 times pi, which means that we have 64 times 3.14. And that is approximately 200.96. H equals 1,300. Blah. So we got 296 times H equals the 1,300. All we have to do now is divide 1,300 by 296. 0.96. We're dividing it. When we divide by the 200.96, we get 6.46 approximately. 648 is approximately the height. Now, because we dealt with feet cubed in the beginning, this is going to be 6.468 or 69 if you round up a little bit, feet. So when you're talking about your units of measurement, it's either going to be in feet or inches or whatever unit of measurement you have. But when you're talking about the volume, it's going to be cubed. All right? So it's an important distinguishing difference. I highly recommend that you check out the next video in this series, which is going to be surface area of cylinders, which is very interesting and one of my favorite surface areas to deal with. Okay? So until next time, have a good day, and I will see everybody later. Bye.